Okay, this video is to help you on the IXL lesson, factoring quadratics with other leading coefficients. Okay, basically a quadratic, the highest exponent you're going to see is a 2, so x to the second. Okay, so don't let the vocabulary mess you up. By leading coefficients, we mean the number in front of the first term, the x squared term. Okay, that number is not going to be a 1. Okay, there's some easy peasy shortcuts. If the number in front of x squared is a 1, which would mean you wouldn't even see a number there at all. Okay, but if you have a regular quadratic, something x squared plus or minus something x plus or minus something, okay, and we're going to factor it. Okay, that's what this lesson is on. Okay, let's back up a minute. Let's just look at an easy multiplication problem. If I wanted to multiply x minus 5 times x plus 3, okay, we use the FOIL method. Okay, we ended up with x squared minus 2x minus 15. Okay, so that's multiplication. Okay, and just like before, factoring is going backwards. It's starting with x squared minus 2x minus 15 and coming up with x minus 5 times x plus 3. Okay, this is the kind of problem we're going to be working with. When we factor down these types of problems, you're going to get, these are called binomials. You're going to get two piecers, okay, like x minus 5, x plus 3. Okay, Ms. Bajarik's going to take this and explain everything in a lot more detail than me. Okay, so just kind of bear with me. Okay, so when we talk about going backwards and factoring, I'm going to show you a trick called trial and error. Okay, and to use trial and error to factor something that looks like this, think about how we use the FOIL method. Okay, think about where the pieces of our answers, when we multiply, where those answers come from. If I take x minus 5 times x plus 3 and I use the FOIL method, just notice this x to the second that I'm going to write down first. Where did it come from? Okay, I got it from multiplying x and x together. Okay, that's important. And think about how did we come up with that last term of negative 15? Okay, we got that by multiplying the negative 5 and the positive 3 together. Okay, because that was multiplying the firsts would be x squared, and then multiplying the lasts would give us the negative 15. Okay, that idea is going to help us use trial and error and go backwards. Okay, start with the quadratic and come up with the multiplication problem. Okay, I'll show you here. This is, I'll try to make this make sense. To factor a trinomial using trial and error. Okay, a quadratic, a trinomial. Make sure your exponents are decreasing. Okay, make sure your exponents are decreasing bigger to smaller. And on IXL, I think they will be. Okay, write 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, and you want to look at your first term. Okay, like 6x squared. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, think about 2 things that you could multiply together to give you that, and put them in the first positions. And we're just trying. We're trying some. Think about 2 ways, 2 factors that you could use, 2 things you could multiply together to give you the last term, and put them in the last positions in your parentheses. Okay, now if you do that, your first and last is fine. The only thing that may not really work out is the middle term. So what you need to do is multiply the inside terms and outside terms and combine them together and see if it works. If you get the middle term, you're done. If you don't get the middle term, just try other things. Okay, after I show you this idea, this trick, I'm going to show you a shortcut way to write out your problem to make it much quicker. Okay, bear with me. This is something that's really tricky at first. It takes a lot of practice, but it gets better. Okay, let me see if I can explain this. If I want to factor 6x squared minus 11x minus 10, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about what are two things I could multiply together to give me 6x squared. And I'm going to put them here and here. Okay, so I could be putting 6x and 1x. 1x and 6x. Okay, I'm just going to try, let's just try 3x and 2x for now. Okay, I'm just trying something. And now I want to think about, I'll use a different color. What is a way that I could come up with negative 10 by multiplying two things together? Okay, it could be a positive 10 and a negative 1. Could be a negative 1 and a positive 10. I'm just going to try a positive 5 and a negative 2. Okay, I'm just trying this. I know that if I FOILed this out, I know that my 6x squared would be fine, because I'm going to take 3x times 2x, and that's going to give me 6x squared. Okay, I know that my last term would be okay, because I know I want to take a positive 5 times a negative 2, and that will give me the negative 10. Okay, everything's good except possibly the middle term. Okay, there's so many different combinations you probably won't get it for a while. Okay, so let's just test. Let's multiply the insides. Positive 5 times 2x is 10x. Let's multiply 3x times negative 2. That's negative 6x. Let's add those up. 4x. Okay, if that 4x would have been negative 11x, I would have been fine. It didn't work. Okay, it didn't work. So we just need to do another problem. We need to find two different factors of 6x squared, possibly. Two different factors of negative 10. And just see if we end up with the middle term this time. Let's try, so I'll use orange first. Again, I guess it doesn't matter. But let's try 3x and 2x again for 6x squared. But now instead of positive 5 and negative 2, let's try negative 2 and positive 5. Because it does make a difference where you put the numbers. Let's try just putting negative 2 in the first position and a positive 5 in the second position. Okay, that's different. Okay, so if we FOILed this out, 3x times 2x would give me 6x squared. Negative 2 times 5 would give me the negative 10. So if I'm lucky, I will get the middle term if I do my insides and outsides. So let's just try. Let's multiply negative 2 times 2x, negative 4x. Let's multiply 3x times 5x. That's 15x. Let's add these up. I get 11x. Darn it all. I mean, it's interesting that it's 11x and not negative 11x, but it's not negative 11x, so it doesn't work. Okay, that did not work. Try again. So we're finding two things that multiply together to give me 6x squared, put them in the first positions. Okay, I'm going to try 3x and 2x again, because I'm going to take, instead of using 5 and negative 2, or negative 2 and 5, I'm going to try a positive 2 and a negative 5 for negative 10. A positive 2 times a negative 5 will give me a negative 10. Okay, so this problem may work. My 3x times 2x gives me my 6x squared. That's good. My positive 2 times my negative 5 gives me my negative 10 on the end. That's good. I just need to get the middle term to work out. Okay, I'm going to multiply the insides. 2 times 2x is 4x. Multiply the outsides. 3x times negative 5 is negative 15x. I add those up. Oh my goodness gracious. Negative 11x is what I wanted. That did it. Okay, this was the right answer. We did it. Okay, we thought about two numbers that multiply together to give us the 6x squared, put them in the first positions. We thought about two numbers that multiply together to give us that last term, put them in the second positions. And just eventually, when we multiply the insides and the outsides and combine them, hopefully, eventually, we'll get the right thing. And we did. Guys, this takes lots and lots and lots of practice. And it's really hard at first, but it gets a lot easier. I just want to show you one more thing. I want to show you a way to do this a lot quicker without so much writing. Okay, you're going to be doing basically the same thing, but you're not going to have to write nearly as much, and I think it'll just go a lot faster. Let me show you. Okay, last example. This is a long video. Okay, let's say I wanted to factor 10x squared minus 17x plus 3. Okay, I'm going to show you something. I want to do this. I'm going to write down the problem again. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to look at the 10. I'm going to think about what is a way that I can multiply two different numbers together to give me 10. And I'm going to think of that as 5 and 2. I'm going to write those down just underneath each other like that. It's kind of like I'm underneath my 10 here. Now think about two numbers I could multiply together to give me positive 3. Okay, maybe a positive 3 and a positive 1. Okay, I'm going to write those down in another column. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for now. Is for the setup. I don't have to write as much. And all I'm going to do now to test if this is right, I'm going to take 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to take 5 times 1. Okay, 5 times 1 is 5. I'm going to add those up. 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay, this did not work because I'm trying to get a negative 17. I'm trying to get a negative 17 when I do this trick. Okay, bear with me. When I do this trick, I should be getting a negative 17 when I multiply these, add them together. Okay, let's do another one. This looks real weird to you. I know it's going to look really, really strange at first. You may want to rely on the longer way for a while and then eventually try this trick. Okay, 10x squared minus 17x plus 3. Two things that multiply together need to give me 10. Okay, 5 and 2. Two things that multiply together to give me a positive 3. Well, you know what? I'm going to try two negatives. I'm going to try a negative 3 and a negative 1. Because I don't know if I'm going to get that middle term to be a negative unless I see some negative somewhere. So to get a positive 3, I'm going to think of two factors of positive 3 as negative 3 and negative 1. Okay, I'm going to do my little multiplication trick. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Add those up. Negative 6 plus negative 5 is negative 11. Not it. I need a negative 17. Okay, but at least I'm getting a negative answer. Okay, at least I'm getting a negative answer for the middle, so that's a little bit better. Try one more. Okay, start out with 10x squared minus 17x plus 3. Okay, two things that multiply together to give me 10. I'm going to use 5 and 2 again. Two numbers that multiply together to give me a positive 3. I'm going to try -1 and -3. Okay, and I'm going to multiply 2 times -1, which is -2. I'm going to multiply 5 times -3, which is -15. I'm going to add those two numbers together. And by golly, if I'm lucky, I'm going to get my -17. And I did. I did get it. Okay, so my shortcut is telling me that this is going to look a little bit funky at first, but that's going to tell me that see that 5 and -1? That's telling me it's going to be 5x minus 1 for one factor. Okay, look at my bottom row here. I have a 2 and a -3. That's going to tell me it's 2x and then minus 3. It's telling me that this is the answer. Okay, if I multiply 5x minus 1 and 2x minus 3 together using the FOIL method, and you could do it, I just don't want to make this video very much longer, it would work. Okay, that would give you the right answer. So this is the correct factored form. Okay, guys, this is, it takes a lot of time to get good at this. So just play with it. And again, Miss Bajarik's going to give you a lot more information about this. She's going to give you some shortcuts. I'm sure she's going to tell you, she may even be teaching you different ways to do this, because there's lots and lots of different ways to factor these types of problems. But just try, hop on IXL, give it a try. Let me know if I can help you, but it takes lots and lots of practice, okay? Okay, you can do hard things.